Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Nathan back with another video presentation. Happy Taco Tuesday. Welcome to Season 5 of the podcast. Yes, Season 5 is here. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I need to say up front. I have uploaded all of Season 4 via Anchor. It goes to Spotify. We're all good. Season 4, there's a playlist on YouTube on my channel, which I have to finalize, but it's all good. This is Season 5 of the podcast. I cannot believe we're going now 5 seasons into it. A couple of things we're going to get into tonight. Got to recap, obviously, what was a interesting week of football and a disappointing Sunday for me. We're going to talk about the Ravens versus Steelers, Washington versus Las Vegas. Kind of don't want to talk about the Broncos and Chiefs in that football game where it's kind of that boring to watch, honestly. Monday Night Football happened. We had both teams where only 3 passes were completed. And then I got to give a preview for the Steelers versus the Vikings. Recap NFL Week 13. And then we got to talk about the playoffs and then things around that. Obviously, news around the NFL. Washington Wizards, we lost to the Pacers last night, and we lost to the Raptors the other night. And we played the Pistons. Major League Baseball is on day 5 of its lockout. Talk about that, a couple things. Maryland football, we got a bowl game. Basketball team, the men's, we lost to Northwestern. The Lady Terps, we beat Rutgers, and we have to play Purdue. And then obviously I got to, we talked to Towson basketball. Some things around the WNBA. Kind of want to vent just a little bit about the Mystics. And then I'm going to close it off with something. It's basketball related, but it's particularly with the NBA. And I'm going to kind of say that for the closing. But before we get into it, again, if you like the video, if you're enjoying the podcast, consider hitting that thumbs up, consider hitting that subscribe button, along with notification bells on. Thank you all for the support that you've given me in this channel. Let's get into it. So, what a way to end a good weekend. Well, the final score was 19-20.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming, or act like I know this was coming, because I did it.
I don't know what to really say, other than utter disappointment. I knew the game was over when they scored the go-ahead touchdown to make it. When he threw it to Deontay Johnson. Let me say this. The Ravens, I'm not hopping off the ship in no way. I will bleed Ravens Nation till the day I die. But we really got to have a serious conversation regarding the offseason, because there are a lot of things that must be addressed before we start talking about paying Lamar Jackson. But I'll get into that in a little bit. Okay, where do I begin? The first quarter, it looked very, very slow. Nobody could really get going. I get home. We can hear Sean Spencer. What's going on, bro? Jammer, I see you. What's going on, bro? Anthony, what's going on, sir? Yeah, you missed it. You just missed it. But if you stick around, you'll see the outro. Baltimore's offense, I can't say enough. The playbook needs to be opened. We are now a month later, and we still cannot make the adjustments to a cover zero blitz. We held the ball for 37 minutes. On that opening drive, which was particularly the Latavius Murray and Devontae Freeman show, and Lamar Jackson threw a pick. Baltimore's defense, for 3 quarters, did what it was supposed to do until the 4th. Nope, a lack of a pass rush, and Big Ben completed 68% of his passes. The fact that, hey, Lucinda, what's going on? Good to see you. We're now, because now this was a must win for Baltimore. Because now I'm concerned. You got Cleveland next Sunday. Then you got to play Green Bay, Cincy, Los Angeles Rams, and Pittsburgh again. And to now have lost Marlon Humphrey for the season, that's 25% of guys that are on our payroll on the IR. Then you got to take into account Lamar Jackson. Now this time we have to be kind of honest with ourselves. We can't sit here and say it moving the goalposts. I don't know if it's missing practice. I feel like he's just doing too much. Like, let me pull up my notes here. I pulled on my phone, but because I'm very observative, and I told you I watch the games. But what's going to hurt Lamar in the long run is that obviously you have to make the adjustments. Like, I'm not calling for John Harbaugh's job in no way, but I do have a question for Greg Roman. Again, why are you not opening up the playbook? Why is it that it's like we stick with one play, like one plan, and that's like the only thing that we know? I understand Baltimore's run heavy, but if a team is showing me blitz, I need to make adjustments to that. And I haven't seen that. Rashard Bateman was out there 4 times. Devin Duvernay is getting, and I have said they need to give Devin Duvernay some more touch, some more opportunities. That's factually correct. But they're not Rashard Bateman, and he's not going anywhere. I think he's just frustrated that he's not getting the opportunities I think he should get. Now, the elephant in the room, y'all, is Greg Roman. Either he's going to have to learn the word adjustments, or he going to have to go. It's just plain and simple. Like, this is what Willie Snead and Des Bryant were talking about, because it makes no sense that we're now coming into the stretch of the season and we haven't scored over 20 points these last few games. We have not done that. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm starting to get 2015 vibes, because that team down the stretch was a playoff contention team. That's a fact. And then all of a sudden, the injury bug happened. But to compare them, first and foremost, to compare them to the 2000 Ravens is ridiculous. Here's the difference. You had Tony Banks starting. Your defense was pretty much doing its part. You just didn't have the offense was just getting stale. So why not put Trent Dilfer in there? In no way, shape, or form I am not saying bench Lamar Jackson. You did not hear me say that. What I'm saying is the offense is now getting stale. Like, I don't think they figured Lamar Jackson out. I think they figured out this offense. All you got to do is stack the line and cover zero. You're golden. Like, I question like Lamar these last few games. I feel like it's all mental. I think these are all adjustments. His decision making. He holds the ball way too long, and then he looks uncomfortable in the pocket. Look at his offensive line. Ronnie Stanley's out. Why you had Tyree Phillips out there? God bless him. He's not a right tackle. They're gonna have to really make some adjustments. Now, this is my concern because you got 5 games left, and Baltimore is still first place in the AFC North. Baltimore easily is going to lose 2 of those games.
Guaranteed.
I'm sorry to say that. I don't think they're going to beat Green Bay, and I know they're not going to beat the Los Angeles Rams. That ain't happening. You can't let Cincinnati beat you twice. You got to come out with a swag against Cleveland, and you got to have some range against Pittsburgh because divisional rivals games always hit different. I don't think they're going to beat those 2 teams. The way the Ravens are looking right now, ladies and gentlemen, again, Ravens Nation, I'm sorry. Again, I will bleed this team to the day I die. They're looking like a first-round exit.
Guaranteed.
I'm sorry to say that. It's really looking that way because Lamar Jackson, I got to give him this credit. He's played a part in where we are now. But the fact that we're really sitting here 8-5, now you've got Anthony Averett, Jimmy Smith, Chris Westry. You're probably going to have Geno Stone out there, Chuck Clark, Brandon Stevens. That's now your backfield. And it's now paper thin, like paper tissue. Like, the ship is beginning to list on starboard and port side. And last night was just a clear example of something that has to give. I'm not calling for Harbaugh's job in no way, because I think John Harbaugh, I think honestly, truthfully, it's Greg Roman. Like, it's just this offense is just stale. And that 2-point conversion, yeah, we could talk about it. It's a game of inches, but can we talk about how you had 4 offensive linemen on their asses? Like, that's ridiculous. And on top of that, TJ Watt blitzed, and nobody picked him up. And Lamar, his throwing mechanic, I'm not a fan of the sidearm thing, but I get it. I ain't gonna lie, like this game stung. This really stung, and it's still hard to kind of like really kind of go, oh, they actually lost on my birthday. Yes, thin, very thin, but that's what happened. I'm disappointed. I think we're going to come out better than what we looked against the Steelers, but gosh, let's move on to the Washington football team versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Excuse me. Final score 17-15. Washington, we're on a 4-game win streak. I was a little surprised. My score was kind of close. I can't remember what the score was. Tyler Heineke set 23 of 30, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. He threw a pick, obviously. I will say then a couple notes I did take away from the game. Again, Taylor Heineke, a couple times he was inaccurate down the field, but when it mattered, he stepped up and made the plays he needed to. 2-minute drive, he let the offense down. And then, we got someone by the name of Brian Johnson because, oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Not Lambeau. Damn it! His name escapes me, but we had to sign Brian Johnson because of our injury too. I cannot think of his name. I wish Sean Spencer was here. He could help me out with that. I cannot think of our kicker's name that's injured. But Brian Johnson kicked the game-winning field goal. We did give Las Vegas the ball back, but they didn't do anything. Again, like I said, J.D. McKissick didn't play, so it was really just Antonio Gibson out there. 88 yards, caught a touchdown pass. Logan Thomas is out for the year. Joey Sly, thank you, Sean. Joey Sly is injured. Darren Waller still is battling a knee and back injury. Like I said, Logan Thomas off for the year, so that may hurt. But he did have 3 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs had a touchdown. Derek Carr threw for, I want to say it was 249, 250. Kind of like the offense for Las Vegas because kind of fell asleep, especially after, with Dallas. Again, I didn't. Okay, I might take some flack for this, Sean. I love you, but remember when we played the Giants back in week 2, and Taylor threw that what I thought was obviously the game-losing interception, but he bounced back and obviously we won that game. But on 11 plays of 50 yards, did that, even though he did throw the interception, which I get it. I think, I don't know if that was just miscommunication. I don't want to say it was a bad pass. I feel like there was just a miscommunication between when he threw it. But I get it. He's not the most. Yeah, I remember. Thanks for reminding me. He's not the as a play single call. How you want to say it? I get it. He's not like the upper echelon of calling plays or a signal caller, but I do have to give Taylor Heineke the respect of what he's doing. Because he has stepped up last season, what really the team's gone through. When you got a quarterback who quits on his team, and more about his brand and himself, a quarterback who had a terrifying knee injury and really nobody really wanted him to play again. So Taylor stepped in that. The defense, man, we're looking great without Montez and Chase Young. Offensive line, particularly for the running game, really, really, I see a cohesive unit. I like the play with was it with Eric Flowers? Yeah, he let somebody have it because there was a play on there where I thought there should have been a flag. I want to say it was unnecessary roughness. I think it was on Nesbitt. No, Nesbitt didn't play. Max Crosby, I think it was. And Eric Flowers let somebody have it. I was kind of a little surprised with that, but no call was there. We're 2 games behind Dallas. I really do. I feel like momentum is on our side, and we're looking really good. I cannot wait for that game against Dallas. I really can't. As far as the Raiders go, we're just removed from them playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Derek Carr threw for almost 400 yards and a touchdown. I don't know where that offense was yesterday. And again, they looked very stale, stagnant, whatever word you want to use. I did like the fact on the game-winning drive for Washington, we picked up 3 consecutive first downs. And ironically, it was on back-to-back plays. I like that. The ability to just do that, I think that really says a lot about the play calling. I got to give Scott Turner his props, but I got to give the offense, Taylor Heineke, making plays when it counts. So we're back home against those Dallas Cowboys, and the Raiders have to go against the Kansas City Chiefs, who beat the Denver Broncos last night.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
Thank you, Sean, for telling me that. I do think Montez is supposed to be back, hopefully this week. I'm not sure. So I mean, he's probably in the questionable list, but we'll see what happens. We got Ricky Seals Jr. is also questionable to play too, because I don't think he played. I don't recall. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so obviously Sunday Night Football game, the Chiefs versus the Broncos. The final score was 22-9. Honestly and truthfully, y'all, it was very lethargic to watch. The Kansas City Chiefs just figured, let's just run the ball. You know, like we don't have to throw 40, 30, 45 times a game. Javonte Williams looked like the second coming of Terrell Davis out there. He had 102 yards and was the lone scorer for 76. The Chiefs defense stepped up when it needed to. That's all you got to know. And on top of that, the Chiefs are 8-4 and Denver's 500. Next time they meet each other is week 18. Fun fact. So in the second quarter, Denver was on a drive that had 20 plays. It lasted 11 minutes. And they didn't score. They didn't do diddly poo, as Jen Moore would say. Diddly poo. They did nothing with that drive. I'm sitting there going, oh, they're going to score. You took 11 minutes on the field, and you don't do anything with that. The last time they asked us, I can't remember. I think it's with them. The last time that happened was in 2000. That was according to a stat I read on Stathead. It was on Twitter. I can't remember the team, but that happened in 2000. Same exact sequence. And I was like, damn, that's bad. And couldn't convert on fourth down. So that's what happened. Let's transition to Monday Night Football, the game where only 3 passes were thrown. I call it the Win Bowl. New England Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills 14-10.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
No answers. I have no words. New England ran the ball and Buffalo's defense had no answers. 32 at one point in the game, they ran the ball 32 straight times. Josh Allen threw for 1 touchdown, 145 yards. The Bills are who we thought they were. You had Damian Harris and Rahandre Stevens, 189 yards combined. They had converted 10 of 11 first downs. Because On the first play, Damian Harris scored was 64 yards. Buffalo. I don't know what the heck was going on in the second half. Well, so that, on the second possession of for Buffalo, they could not capitalize. Dawson Knox, I saw a lot of drops out there. A false start, and then it was like a 3rd and 9, and then it was 3rd and 14. They couldn't convert. Now, there was actually a play, and it was a good play, but the wind kind of took it, and Stephon went one way and the ball went another. It was like a 45 yard pass. It was a nice pass. Just dropped it. Then it was a 4th and 1, I remember, and they converted it. Buffalo wasn't even ready for it. And it took time off the clock. Oh, also too, fun fact, I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but when you defer on a coin toss, you can get the ball in the second half or which way you want to kick. Buffalo had the choice to decide which way they wanted to kick. But Bass missed a 33-yarder. And then, yeah, I just wanted to point a little fun fact out. So thank you, Buffalo Bills, for not only choking last night, but the New England Patriots are the #1 seed in the AFC.
So when are we going to say something about it? You know what? I'm going to walk away. I'll be right back because I'm scared I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble because I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
So the Patriots are going on the bye week, and the Buffalo Bills, who I have their defense on my fantasy football team, have to go down to Tampa and see Mr. Dimple Chin himself and the Buccaneers.
Relationship with your
Oh,
children.
my God.
Let's transition to Thursday Night Football preview. The Pittsburgh Steelers play the Minnesota Vikings. We already know they're coming off a win against my Ravens. Pittsburgh's now above 500. The Vikings losing to the Detroit Lions. You don't have Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. Like, let's call this what it is. Mike Zimmer will be fired, in my opinion, after this year. For all intended purposes, shout out to Sean Spencer. I know his wife is a Detroit Lions fan. Shout out to Cat. The Lions should have lost that game. Can someone explain me what the Minnesota Vikings were doing on defense? Like, okay. When I look at Pittsburgh and Minnesota, their defenses are about the same. They haven't been achieving at all. The running attack is, you've got a lack of good, dynamic players. I personally, the quarterbacks are different. I don't think Jared Goff's a bad quarterback. I think if you give him some pieces, I think Jared Goff's fine. I mean, I've seen what he can do in Los Angeles. I trust my eyes. I don't think Jared Goff is a bad quarterback. Big Ben, on the other hand, is just older. And Well, they both could not beat the Lions. Well, no, you just couldn't. I don't know really what to expect. I think this is going to be a very painful football game to watch. Okay, so Minnesota and Pittsburgh, their pass rush is actually not that bad. Pittsburgh ranks first with 37 sacks, and Minnesota's second with 36. TJ Watt, who I think should be MVP, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, had 3.5 sacks. He contributed. He was part of those 7 sacks. He had 3.5. Chris Wormey had 2.5. You got from Minnesota, Danielle Hunter. He leads the team in sacks with 6. And then he's one of, I remember looking at the Vikings roster, he's one of 16 that have half a sack. Minnesota is actually a better team of sacking. I think they rank 5th. I think their top 5s are hurries and pressures. Big Ben. Okay, his confidence has been risen. Okay. Personally, listen, I think Big Ben's a good good quarterback. I never was one of those that have said he's washed. I just said he's not the same quarterback. We know he's getting older, and really we should all know when, okay, I can't play the game of football anymore. I blame the media for the way they have trashed him, saying, he's a shell of himself. This is not the same style of football, blah, 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 blah. Like, that was against Baltimore. Look, and I have my respect for the Steelers fans. Shout out to Sid Swinton. That was arguably probably one of the best games I've seen from him so far this year. He's only sacked 1 time. Now, I don't know, that when I'm not going to say, we're going to see Superman out here, but he is going to go up against a defense that is going to really give it to him. Like Minnesota, if I remember looking at the stats, they're 17th in points from passing. They're 23 in passing yards allowed, and they're 24th in touchdowns surrendered. So, I definitely do think the Minnesota Vikings are pissed. I do. You let the Detroit Lions, with no touchdowns, no timeouts, go 75 yards. The Minnesota Vikings are going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-21.
Guaranteed.
I just think that Mike Zimmer's got to win this game. I'm sorry. There's no excuse that you come out and lose that game. You lose this game you lost to the Lions, and this game, you're done. There's just no way that can happen. I think the Vikings are going to come out motivated, and they're going to be ready, and Pittsburgh better be ready. That's just me. Let's recap NFL Week 13. For the most part, I think I did actually pretty well. I think I got like 3 games wrong. Surprisingly, the Colts embarrassed the Houston Texans 31-0. I got that right. The Detroit Lions got their first win in over a year. I'm really happy. I'm happy for the team. I'm happy for the city. The especially for what they've been going through. Thoughts and prayers for those that that lost their lives with the Oxford school shooting. That should never happen. Just a quick side. We're here to get out. For me, you just don't know what's tomorrow's never promised. Continue to thank God that you're allowed to see another day. The many blessings. It's just crazy that we got people out here, especially kids, bringing guns into school. Like, I'm thinking, like, that's a place where I'm going to get my education. And now I kind of have to go into a school and think, kind of look over my shoulder. Like, that's crazy. So I'm continuing to still pray for them, man. It was well-deserved. So shout out to the Detroit Lions. Shout out to Matt Campbell getting his first win. The Miami Dolphins beat the Giants 20-9. Buccaneers beat the Falcons 30-17. Shout out to Anthony Handy. I apologize. Eagles beat the Jets 33-13. The Cardinals beat the Bears 33-22. The Chargers embarrassed the Bengals at home 41-22. The Rams 30-balled the Jaguars 37-7. The Seattle Seahawks defeated the 49ers 30-23. That was a shocker. Like I said, the Steelers and the Vikings start off week 14. I'll give my picks probably in Friday's video. Probably Friday. But with that being said, it's time to go into our segment.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Shout out to Jim Moore. Okay, so as of yesterday, the New England Patriots are the number 1 seed in the AFC. The Cardinals are the number 1 seed with 10-2. If the playoffs started today, the number 7 seeded Buffalo Bills play the Tennessee Titans. The number 3 seed, the Ravens, would have to play the Bengals, and the Chiefs play the Chargers. In the NFC, you got the Packers versus the Niners, Buccaneers versus the football team, Dallas versus Los Angeles Rams. So you've got, and I was hoping Buffalo would have really helped. You've got 3 teams that can be tied for 8-4. And you've got 3 teams 7-5. Like, you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, the 8th seed, and the Colts 6-7. Okay? You've got 3 teams, Las Vegas, Cleveland, Denver at 500. Miami's right there. And then you got the first 3 lottery picks for the NFL draft. The Texans were eliminated from the playoffs yesterday. My concern is 3. I don't know what 2 and 3 seed for the AFC. Like, we play Cleveland next week, and we play Jacksonville. New England's got an Indy. Like, for all intended purposes, I think it's going to come down like the last 3 weeks of the season. Because right now, this is still anybody. The AFC is just a mess. It's still really, honestly, truthfully, anybody's division. Everyone's to take the AFC, in my opinion. The NFC. I think the number 1 seed is a lock.
Guaranteed.
You got Green Bay and Tampa tied for 2nd. Dallas and Los Angeles tied for 3rd, 8-4. They're the 4th seed, excuse me. And then the Rams are the 5th seed. Green Bay in the 2nd, Tampa's the 3rd. And you've got Washington and San Fran. It's 500 apiece. Behind them is the Eagles. I think right now, currently, Arizona, Green Bay, Tampa, Dallas, the Rams, Washington, and San Francisco. Apologize for what, sir? The Falcons are just not the move this season. Well, I was kind of expecting some type of payback, some type of revenge. Javonte wins with the UNC. Oh my God. We're not talking about University of North Carolina. The current 7 seeds, in my opinion, they are a lock.
Guaranteed.
I do. I'm looking at 9 through 12. You've got Minnesota, Carolina, Atlanta, 5 and 7. The Eagles played. We got Philadelphia's on a bye. And they come back. They got to play Washington. Minnesota's got Pittsburgh Thursday. Atlanta's got Carolina. And Carolina's got Atlanta. See what I did there? Arizona's got Los Angeles. Green Bay's got Chicago. Tampa's got Buffalo. I think the NFC standing is looking more stable by the day, by the minute. So that concludes
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Shout out to Jim Moore. Let's go into NFL news. So a couple things did happen. Really quick, I want to send my thoughts and prayers to the family of Glenn Foster Jr. He was defensive lineman for the Saints. He died in police custody in Alabama. He played 17 games for the Saints. He was at the University of Illinois. That's where he's from. Don't know what happened. The details haven't been released just yet. So I want to send my thoughts and prayers to his family. He's 31. Kenny Stills was waived by the Saints today. Surprisingly, I was shocked. Alden Smith was arrested and booked on a felony charge of DUI. Dak Prescott has been nominated by the Dallas Cowboys for Man of the Year, NFL Man of the Year. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. It was so funny. That was kind of crazy. I thought they were going to walk up from the post conference. But the question is, I'm paraphrasing it, but the reporter asked pretty much how do you guys explain the embarrassing performance that you had in this game? And pretty much let me put it this way. He basically is saying, do you guys feel embarrassed that you lost to a team that only completed 3 passes? And I think it's Jerry Sullivan who answered the question. And Hyde and Poyer got really sensitive. I really thought they were going to say something some off the wall stuff, and then and Sullivan said, "Oh, the nation will be criticizing," and Poyer was like, "We made the stops. We only allowed 1 touchdown, X, Y, and Z," and I think it was Micah Hyde saying, "Okay, that's funny. We'll remember that." And I was like, "Uh-oh." Check this out. Those are the kind of things that I can see why some athletes feel the way they do towards the media, because those are kind of dumb questions. That's not. Let me tell you, it's not a dumb question. It's a, why would you ask a question like that way? You gotta have I look at it like this. You do kind of have to have a relationship. You do have to have a relationship with the media. Like, it's almost like when you had a job. Like, there's no expectation of you have to be friends with your coworkers. But you do have to have respect. And that does go a long way. Like, there are going to be questions they're tough questions you have to ask. And this one was just one of those, like, oh, why would you say like that? Why would you ask it like that? Like, should you guys feel embarrassed that you lost to a team that only completed 3 passes? That's not how I would ask that question. I would say, Michael Jordan, like, what's your approach for next game? Like, you guys made the stops, but they just were obviously Damian Harris and Stevenson. They came the ball. Like, what is your approach for next game? Keep it moving. Not do you guys feel embarrassed you lost to a team that only completed 3 passes? Like, those kind of questions are kind of like. So I'll have to play it at the end for y'all. It was very funny. Antonio Brown obviously is still suspended. Bill Belichick and Sean McDermott pretty much still. I think he's kind of bitter that he's like a bag of sour grapes is a better word to use, losing to the to the Patriots. I have to say it, like, we kind of need to be questioning, like, wait a minute, like, this was the team we said that was going to win in the AFC, because we the best team in the AFC East, and a team with a rookie quarterback is at top. Like, what's the excuse? For the Walter Payton Award, there were nominees. All 32 teams had a nominee for this year's award. As you already know, the award was started back in 1970, and it was renamed the Walter Payton Award in 1999. All 32 nominees, I think they get up to $40,000 to their charity, and then they'll get, the winner gets $250,000 to donate to their charity. So congratulations, Calvin Beachman, Mike Davis, for the Cardinals, Calvin Beachman, Atlanta Falcons, Mike Davis, Riley Bozeman for the Ravens, Harrison Phillips for the Bills, DJ Moore for the Panthers, Jimmy Graham for the Bills, Sam Hubbard for the Bengals, Denzel Ward for the Browns, Dak Prescott for the Cowboys, Justin Simmons for the Broncos, Jason Cabinda for the Lions, Aaron Jones for the Packers, Justin Reed for the Texans, Kenny Moore II for the Colts, Miles Jack for the Jaguars, Tyrann Mathieu for the Chiefs, Darren Waller for the Raiders, obviously, Corey Lindsey for the Chargers, Andrew Whitworth for the Rams, Jerome Baker for the Dolphins, Anthony Barr for the Vikings, Lawrence Guy for the Patriots, Cameron Jordan for the Saints, Logan Ryan for the Giants, Quentin Williams for the Jets, Jason Kelce for the Eagles, Cameron Hayward for the Steelers, and Eric Armstead for the 49ers, Seahawks, Tyler Lockett, Mike Evans for the Buccaneers, Derrick Henry for the Titans, and finish it off, Jonathan Allen for the Washington football team. So congratulations to all 32 nominees. Thank you for what you do for the communities, and continue to do what you do to inspire others, and your good deeds are not, you'll be handsomely rewarded. So that's going to conclude the NFL segment. Let's move into basketball. The Washington Wizards We're on a 2-game losing streak. We lost to the Pacers, 116-110. Well, we're on a 3-game losing streak. Last 4 or 5 of games we've now lost. I'm sorry, we're now on a 4-game losing streak. We've now lost the last 4 of our last 5. We're now 10-3. We started out 10-3, went 4-8, and now we're 14-11. We're 5th seed. Couple things I keep stressing it. Like on the offensive side for Washington, we only had 12 points in the first quarter against Toronto, and then come out against Indiana, only had 18. For like the last 4 minutes of the game, we didn't have a bucket. And then going into the second quarter for 5 minutes, going into the second quarter, we didn't score. And I thought, because KCP, Cartavius Caldwell-Pope, said in the post-game interview after Toronto, we got to be better. We were down 17 points. And still was not enough. It starts with our offense. Our offense dictates the defense. If we can't get the offense going, it's a long game. We got to be better at starting it, because it's like it's like fighting uphill, and it's showing. Bradley Beal played well against the Pacers. He had 34, 12 and 19. Compared, and I'll talk about that with the Raptors. It was a better shooting game. He had 15 points in the first half. And then again, turnovers. We just continuously turn the ball over. We had 10 turnovers in the first half, and then had combined 12. Indiana took advantage of that and scored 21 points. That can't happen. You had Chris Dart. He had 4 of them. And then I got a question. I know Bertans has a stomach virus. There's some weird long medical term. But Corey Casper stepped in there and did pretty well. He had 10 points. He played 19 minutes. Not bad. But I'm kind of yo, man. That's what I'm saying. I think the Wizards, they need something. I know Rory Hachimura, he's mental health comes first. He's doing his thing. I know Thomas Bryant is still recovering from his injury, but they need a Sabonis. They need somebody that can really help on the offensive side of the ball, because it just can't be Bradley Beal. I thought KCP would have. KCP, has his moments. Kuzma, Harrell, they have their moments, but my gosh. And then Raptors, you had Pascal Siakam had 31. Precious Achonwa had 10 points, 14 rebounds. The Raptors, I think, the last 3 games, including us, they held their opponents to under 100 games. Washington in the first quarter alone, 5 of 22. KCP had 26 points. Great. Bradley Beal had 14 in that game. No answers to come out of double digits in the first quarter. I'm going to keep saying it. We can't, we have poor first quarters, and when we perform poorly in the first quarter, it shows. Shots weren't falling. I said it starts with the offense. If we can't, we got to hit some shots, and we got to play defense, and we can't be so careless with the ball. Going into the fourth quarter, the score was 84-68. Siakam had 17 points in the second half. That was bad. And And then I know Spencer Dinwiddie's not, I know he's been with his knee injury. Harrell had 14 rebounds, but that was bad. And then, to make matters worse, hopefully there is a spark that can be lit under these boys. We play the Detroit Pistons, who are currently on a 9-game losing streak. Now, Kelly Olynyk's out, Corey Joseph's out, Chris Smith's out for the Pistons, Rory Hashimura's out, and Chris Thomas Bryant's out. Now, obviously, coming off 2 losses back-to-back with the Pacers and the Raptors, we've now lost 8 of 12 games, and the Pistons so far have only won 4. Jeremy Grant is leading the team with 20 points a game, and Kate Cunningham's behind him with 14. Now, a couple things. Going to have to slow him down. He actually leads the team in 3-point shooting and also leads the team in assists and steals. Washington has to not dig themselves early in a hole where they can't come out of it. Again, they're going to have to make some shots and play defense and not turn the ball over. I think that's also hurting Washington as well as the turnovers. Like, I think these guys are just doing too much, but I just feel like if the Wizards had another piece, I'm not saying a Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, if they just had somebody like a Sabonis, maybe a Miles Turner, I think life would be easier. I think games would be smoother. I'm not saying, go out there and get. I'm just saying if they can just get another piece. Like, I'm expecting Bradley Beal to have a good game. I'm looking for the bench. Kuzma, KCP, Harrell, all of them have a good game. I don't know. Bertans will probably be back. Corey Casper. These guys, they're holding their own, but the Wizards, they're digging themselves in holes that they can't come out. But I think that the Washington Wizards will hand the Detroit Pistons their 10th loss in a row, 119-89.
Guaranteed.
A couple things around the NBA. So the travel update for NBA players to go to Canada, I think, is January 15th. So players that are not vaccinated, they can't go to Canada. I believe it's January 15th. From what I understand, 90% of the league is vaccinated, and it's like 500 even. No, I'm sorry. It's 15 players that can't travel. So, like, if they're not vaccinated, they are susceptible of getting fined and suspended. So, Kemba Walker talked about how he felt about being benched. I think he understands, and I get it. Kemba in that system, he's more of an offensive guard. Thibodeau is all about defense. He's defense first. We should all know that by now. So I'm hoping things will change and things will get better. Damian Lillard talking about a 2-year extension worth like $107 million. I know Ben Simmons Damian Lillard talked about getting Ben Simmons or a guy like Aaron Gordon. Does need some help. Like, CJ McCollum's out with a collapsed lung, so I'm sending my thoughts and prayers out to him. I don't know when he's coming back. But it's either A or B. He stays and he gets some help, or he's out. TJ McConnell is out for 10 to 12 weeks after he got surgery on his wrist. DeMar DeRozan was placed in safety, NBA health and safety protocols. That's pretty much what happened around the NBA. But there's a video I'm going to show you at the end. Charles Barkley calling out the media about how they've moved the goalpost. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, the first month of the season, it was Russell Westbrook. Now they've moved the goalpost, and it's Frank Vogel. And I will play the video towards the end. But Bam Adebayo's off for 4 to 6 weeks with a thumb surgery, and Zion Williamson had another setback with his foot injury. I know there's a video that that video was a picture of him, and didn't look like he's still not like he's in basketball shape. Nikola Jokic, aka the Joker, he's passed Larry Bird on the triple doubles list. He's 60th. Oh, just for the record, Steph Curry will break Ray Allen's record tomorrow. Guaranteed. That's a no-brainer. That will happen. So that's going on around the NBA. Also, too, former NBA prospect Dante Exum signed with FC Barcelona, the basketball team. So Dante Exum was drafted by the Utah Jazz. Didn't really pan out, but I wish him on nothing but the best. Looking at the standings as of today, the Brooklyn Nets are in first place. Chicago's right behind them. The Milwaukee Bucks, the Miami Heat, and the Wizards are tied for 4th and 5th. The Celtics and the Sixers are tied 13 and 11 apiece. And you got the Charlotte Hornets, 8th seed, 14 and 12. And you've got the Cavaliers and the Hawks, 13 and 12. The Knicks are 500. And then there's the Raptors, 11 and 13. Pacers, 10 and 16. And you've got, obviously, lottery picks, the Orlando Magic and the Pistons for next year. The West, the Golden State Warriors are 20 and 4 apiece. The Jazz, 4 games behind it, 3.5 games, 16 and 7. The Grizzlies, 14 and 10. The Clippers, 13 and 12. The Lakers are 500. Dallas and Denver tied 11 and 12. Minnesota 11 and 13. Portland 11 and 14. Sacramento's 10 and 14. San Antonio's 8 and 15. Rockets, Thunder, and the Pelicans are 7 and 16 apiece. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's transition into baseball. It's day 5 of the lockout. Couple things that happened. Daisuke Matsuzaka ended his 23-year career in Japan. Ichiro Suzuki surprised him. Shout out to Ichiro. Daisuke played for the Red Sox. It was actually fun. I remember when he was actually available to sign. And I was joking. This was many years ago. My dad was like, "Oh, I wonder if the Orioles could sign him." And my dad was like, "They're not going to sign him." Yeah, he played for the Red Sox from 2007 to 2012. Actually won the World Series that year too. He played with the Mets, and then he went back to Japan. He finished his career with the Lions. So he actually really wasn't a bad pitcher. Honestly, he just wasn't. I just think, honestly, truthfully, injuries and age too. So a lot of things we pointed to was his pitch count, his conditioning. Those are the biggest things. But I think for the time that he was with Major League Baseball with the Red Sox, I think he did all right. So wishing him nothing but the best in retirement, all success. If you've noticed on MLB.com, they blacked out all the players on his website, so you can't even see what out. Like, for example, Juan Soto's picture. You can't see Freddie Freeman. You can't see none of their pictures. They're all blacked out. So I thought it'd be funny if I did it on my social media, do the same thing, so they can't see my face. A couple things, the Hall of Fame. So Buck O'Neil, I don't know what took this so long to get him in the Hall of Fame. Gil Hodges, Minnie Minoso, Bud Fryer, Tony Olivo. I'm saying his name correctly. I'm not apologize. There's a couple other guys too. They're going to the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Buck O'Neil, who was in the Negro Leagues, he was a two-time All-Star. He was the first black coach in the National American League. He got, I mean, he was telling stories about Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, Cool Papa Bell. I saw an interview on YouTube with that. He passed away off sadly in 2016 at 94. Minnie Minoso, former White. I remember him playing for the White Sox. He batted over 308 times in Cleveland and Chicago. He actually came back and played at age 50. Fun fact. Bud Fowler, by all historical accounts, he's the first African-American baseball player to play ever. He was a pitcher and a second baseman. Gil Hodges, who was on that Dodgers team alongside with Jackie Robinson, Duke Snyder, and Roy Campanella, Pee Wee Reese. 8-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover at first baseman. Well deserved. He's the guy. He coached. He was the manager for the 1969 Mets that beat the Baltimore Orioles.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
In 5. That's painful. And on top of that, we lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1979 too. Okay, painful. All right, let it go, Nathan. Let it go. Sadly, he died in 1972. He had a heart attack. So I'm pretty sure he's going to have his family there. Well deserved. I believe Tony Oliva. Let me make sure I have his name right. I don't want to say his name. Yes, Tony Oliva is going in the Hall of Fame. He played with the Minnesota Twins, 3-time AL batting champion. I did some research on him. His career was really actually cut short. Played 15 years, a lot of knee injuries. 8-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, Rookie of the Year, Gold Glove. His numbers retired by the Twins, and he's in the Minnesota Twin Hall of Fame. So the last really great for him to be in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. I think, is it Jim Catt? I'm saying his name right. He's also going in the Hall of Fame. Well-deserved. Pitcher for the Washington. He played for the Washington Senators, and then they moved to Minnesota, obviously. White Sox, Phillies, Yankees, Cardinals. 3-time All-Star, World Series champion, a 16-time Gold Glove winner. He led the AL in wins, and he's also a member of the Minnesota Twins Hall of Fame. And then I'm missing somebody else. Did I get everybody? Yeah, I did. So, well-deserved for each these guys individuals. I'm happy Buck O'Neil got in the Hall of Fame. He really should already have been in the Hall of Fame. But, like I said, those writers act like they're gods, and I think politics, and also too, I don't know what it is, but Minnie Minoso, I think, is good. I'm glad he's in the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Now, as far as the others getting in the Hall of Fame, like, I don't think Barry Bonds is going to make it. I don't think Roger Clemens is going to make it. I would not put Alex Rodriguez in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. That's just me. I just don't. So I'm kind of curious to see where that's going to go. But Yasiel Puig wrote a kind of an interesting letter about the help of getting players of Hispanic ball players. The league to help them out. A need for more players of Hispanic descent. That makes sense. So I thought the letter was actually kind of thoughtful. It actually kind of was interesting, and I'll leave this in the description. First and foremost, baseball definitely needs to grow. It needs to be better. I do think that commissioner owners, they're going to have to understand that when you see the NBA is becoming a global sport, NFL, those different things like that, it's going to be, I think that Major League Baseball, they got to look themselves in the mirror. And you're already seeing guys making an impact. Yadier Molina's that are currently and have made their impact on the game. Your Yadier Molina's of the world, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Yasiel Puig, Ronald Acuna Jr. You do see guys having their impact, but it needs to be more of a push. But I like to see some African American baseball players now. I know we got Marcus Semien, Tim Anderson, Byron Buxton. I want to see some more guys of African American descent in there too. I think we need to really push that more, and also too, again, these guys can play the game of baseball too. Yasiel Puig, I think he's a good baseball player. He can contribute on my team any day. So I definitely think it was a really, really good letter. So let me transition into Maryland football. Yes. The University of Maryland is going to get a bowl game against the University of Virginia Tech. The Pinstripe Bowl, December 29th. I am ecstatic. I'm happy. I have to give Maryland football, keep Coach Lockley his props. It was not an easy season, particularly what he's done. He's changed the culture. He's done a lot. I'm just happy that we got in there. I understand playing in the Big Ten is not easy, but those guys persevered, and I cannot wait until that bowl game. So, Jake Funk, who former Maryland Terp plays for the Rams, he honored Jordan McNair with custom cleats. I saw that on Twitter. That was nice. Okonkwo, our tight end, he declared for the draft on his Twitter. Vanderbilt, they got AJ Swan. He was supposed to get Maryland. He was Maryland on his list, but Vanderbilt got him. So, all right. So that's what's happening in Maryland football. So congratulations, let's go. All right. Maryland basketball. All right. The men. We lost to Northwestern 67-61. Okay. North Carolina plays South Carolina. What's the bowl? Mark Turge is no longer the basketball coach. After 10 years, he stepped down Friday. I'm still bothered by that because I feel like it's the way he left. I did not like that. Something's going to have to give with this Maryland basketball team. We're still struggling to shoot the ball, and we cannot score. In the Duke's Mayo Bowl. North Carolina, they're both the same. Now, North Carolina, South Carolina, it's all the same. So, it's all the same. We only shot 29% from the field. Eric Ayala and Dante Scott, 4-23 from the field, 19 points combined.
Relationship with your
Oh,
children.
my God.
Like I just don't get it. Like, okay, like Hakeem Hart, he had 18 points, but nothing. He lacks, to me, he needs to be more aggressive. And like Richmond, okay, he had 24 points, but it's just like, it just is like Maryland doesn't take advantage. Okay, if like when he like, where is like I feel like he's the X factor, and it's like when the team when he plays good, the team's fine. But when he struggles, it just kind of looks like one jobble, like it's a mess. And Eric Ayala, man. 16% on 12 shots. Fats Russell had a I don't know where he was at, 3 of 12. I mean, like, oh my God. Wow. I'm out. LO. Target Nation comparison with South Carolina. I gotta start. That's comment of the day. I like that one. That's a good one. That's what happened. Then Danny Manning, who's now the interim coach, he went deep. I mean, he used the bench. And I saw nothing different. Now, I thought coming into this season, the depth we had. And Ian Martinez looked okay. Then he got hurt. We had Marcus Dockery had a J. Like, nothing. I mean, the three-point shooting was okay. Then we shot, 43%? But we only, as a cohesive, 7 of 36 from the field. Like, Maryland just lacks a true identity on offense. And it clearly is showing. Now, we play Florida Friday. And I'm telling you, they have got to figure it out. They really do. And my concern is I think Maryland get together, but that was awful basketball to watch. I'm not gonna lie. Let me transition to the women. We played Rutgers, and we won. Now 73-59. Again, like I said, Maryland, they missed some key players due to injuries and illness. Now I get it. Particularly losing to Stanford and NC State, I understand, but we were shorthanded. I understand, like, there's no excuse for that, but to me, I felt like this was a game I feel like Maryland had to win. Maryland, we had Angel Reese, Katie Benzan, Chloe Bibby, Ashley Wansu, all double digits. We shot 53% from the field. Rutgers, I told you, the biggest thing was not letting them hit shots. Now, they did out-rebound us, but we took advantage of them in the paint, which was a key. Like, at one point, they were down, Rutgers was down 15 and brought it back to within 4. I will say we didn't turn the ball over that much. We only had 6 turnovers. We held Rutgers to 6 turnovers and only held them to 7 points in the second quarter. Shot 62%. Now, the biggest thing for me is that we're not a great 3-pointing shooting team, but when it counted, it mattered. So that was a big win. Now, okay, I'm back. I had this knock out the step goal for the day, fitness hash. I like it. We played Purdue. This is key. This is after now. Again, I get it. Losing to Stanford and North Carolina State, you have taken into consideration we didn't have a full healthy squad. Now, there's still some things we got to address. We committed 16 turnovers against Miami, and we are going up against Purdue. They're 8-2. Now, a couple things. I took some things. I looked at Purdue's roster before I came on here. I studied this actually. They have some young ball players. And that's a good strength. They really lack in scoring. Like last year, looking if I remember, they were like third. They were the third lowest scoring team. I think they scored like 65 points per game. And that, so far in the last 9 games, they haven't scored 80 points. Now, this game, I'm looking to see, we had, again, Chloe Bibby, Katie, Ashley, Angel, all had double digits. Like, I kind of want to – I don't know what I'm going to expect from that. We've beaten Purdue. We beat them last year. And I think it was like – faced them twice? I don't remember. And it's a home game too. So I'm really looking forward for the Lady Terps to come out at home, again, not commit, making shots, not turning the ball over. And I think if Maryland does that, Maryland will beat Purdue. I'm going to go along the lines of 71-53.
Guaranteed.
Really quick. So All right. The rankings were released. Again, I'm a little concerned the biasness, and I get it, but those lists are subjective as always. Maryland stayed in the top 10, but I get it. Those 2 losses, I'm gonna keep bringing it up, obviously played a role. I was actually surprised Michigan stayed where they were. Purdue didn't get any love. Notre Dame, I think it's actually about the same. South Carolina's not going to go anywhere. UConn. Now, Paige Beckers is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. First and foremost, why was she out there? To me, that's trying to run. You're trying to run the score up. That's something you would see like on 2K. You would risk your player's health for that. And she should not have came back out there. I don't know. Again, then he goes off and he criticizes the girls without Paige. Like, I don't understand that. Like, it's one thing if she didn't get hurt and they lost, but it's another when you are up a certain score. It's an unwritten rule. Don't show me up like that, because who was it? Notre Dame they played. They would have gotten the ball back, but they wouldn't have done anything with it. So these next 6 to 8 weeks, the teams that play UConn, like, I think we can beat them. But I don't like his criticism of the others that are not. I don't like that. It's kind of like I need her out there. If I don't have her out there, we're nothing without her. Like, that's kind of the vibes he's giving me, and that's not cool. Towson basketball, really quick. I give a shout out to the Towson Tigers. We're 6-3 on the year. We beat Kent State 73-58. Great win. We're on a 3-game win streak. We play Ohio State tonight, actually, and it'll be on ESPNU. So congratulations to the men's. The Lady Tigers, they are 7-1, and they play the University of Massachusetts at Lowell tonight. The Lady Tigers will win 69-50.
Guaranteed.
Oh, let me see who the men are playing again. I'm sorry. They played Ohio State. That should be an interesting game. Towson 73, Ohio State 69.
Guaranteed.
All right. So really quick, I just want to transition into the WNBA. And then I'm going to close out with the 2 videos I want to show y'all, and then we're out of here. So we had a couple coaching changes. Coach Sandy Borrello has parted, and the Phoenix Mercury agreed to part ways. All the cryptic tweets on Twitter from others and liking posts on Instagram, I'm not sure what that's all about. And then Walt Hopkins and the Liberty agreed to mutually part ways. I know Walt. It's funny, he's only 2 years into the season and just being head coach. They just made the playoffs, and they lost in the first round, unfortunately. I kind of wanted to see what he would look like next year, but I get it. It would not surprise me if you saw Coach Borrello head coach as a coach for Liberty. Would not faze me. I think you got a decent squad. You got Sabrina Ionescu, Benijah Laney, Michaela Onyewer, Dee Richards, Rashonda Gray, Rebecca Allen. Say what comes, and then also too, it all depends on who stays, who goes in free agency. With Phoenix, there's a couple things. I would also consider Teresa Witherspoon for the Liberty job too, and then Chelsea Melvin too as well. For the Phoenix Mercury, you got Fred Williams in there. I don't think Eric T-Ball is going to leave Washington. I think when Coach T retires, I think Eric's going to take over, in my opinion. You've got some interesting head coaching decisions there. I'm surprised they haven't fired Derek Fisher for the Los Angeles Sparks. I'm really surprised. I really am. Sue Bird and Diane Taurasi, no, they're not going to coach. But I am surprised with that one because they were just in the finals. It's one thing if they didn't make the playoffs, but it's another, like, something just doesn't add up with that. But, I mean, I still think, regardless, I think Phoenix, regardless of free agency, I know everyone has a cap with the cap. You still got Brittany Griner, Skylar Diggins, Diane Taurasi locked up through next year. I'm pretty sure Sophie Cunningham wants to come back. Kia Nurse, when she comes back. Megan Walker, Bria Hartley. I don't know where Kia Vong. I don't know. I know she's said she wasn't going to go overseas and play basketball. Whether she'll stay, we'll see. Very surprising. Very surprising. I know in January the free agency starts, and then February, I think in January they can start talking, and then I think February they can start signing contracts. So I cannot wait for free agency. Now, as far as the Mystics go, I don't know really what to expect. I definitely do know that we need to go in a different direction. We need to retool. Now, I feel we need to just rebuild with that team because looking at the Mystics, like, I stand by my article, which was published on bulletsforever.com. Check it out if you're not already. I'll leave the link in the description. That was fronted by the editors of the website because there are a lot of questions going forward with the Mystics. So we'll see. But with that being said, let me play the two clips. So the first clip I'm going to play is with Chuck Barkley going off on the Los Angeles Lakers because I told you they moved the goalpost. They first started with Russell Westbrook saying he was the issue. Now they've moved the goalpost to say it's Frank Vogel. It's like, at some point, when do you look at Anthony Davis? Anthony Davis, in my personal opinion, is one of the best players in the game. He's top 5. Next man up. Like, I understand that they have injuries. LeBron's not getting any younger. They've only put 11 games together. But if I have Anthony Davis, like, he's not a good 3-point shooter. Like, to me, he doesn't. It's kind of like, yo, man, like, where are you at? I just question that. And then I got to play the Jordan Pryor. I want to start off with that one. So let me play that one. And then we're going to end the season 5. Thank you for those that joined me this evening for season 5. We're on the road to great things. So let me go ahead and play the video for these videos, and then we're out.
Boy, what are we doing, bro? What kind of question?
It's been over 40 years since the team has won a game running that few times in a game, passing it.
Hold on, let me make sure the sound is working. I apologize. I got it off NFL of Yahoo Sport. That's where the video was. I couldn't find it on Twitter. So
It's been over 40 years since the team has won a game running, stepped 2 times in a game, passing it a few times. Is that embarrassing?
I mean, what kind
Boy,
of
what
question?
are we doing, bro?
What kind of question is that?
It's a question. I mean, the nation's going to be criticizing you about calling it slow. I'm asking.
I mean, keep 7 points. Yeah,
14,
14 to 10. Is that the final score?
We made stops when we had to. They had one big run. I mean, they got good backs.
Yeah. All right.
They kept coming back to a couple runs. I mean, I don't know how you want us to answer that question.
That's funny. Well, we'll remember that. I'll remember that.
This goes back to respect. It's all about respect. I come here every single week and I answer your questions truthfully, honestly. I appreciate you guys. Don't do that. Don't do that.
In my day, players answered that kind of way.
I'm sorry. That was funny. Okay, now I just want to play this clip. I know I might get a copyright claim for it, but I felt like it was really good to hear him rant about the Lakers. So I'm going to just play it. I apologize. This is not. This is just for education purposes.
Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley.
Can I vent or I have to wait?
Half hour until
got a half hour.
tip off. Okay, no, what do you got something you gotta unload?
Yes.
What is it?
Camera 4. That's my camera?
Yes, it is.
Hey, listen, y'all know I think that most reporters are cowards. They want to be friends with these players. And y'all just proved my point again. For the first month of the season, y'all blame everything on Russell Westbrook for the Lakers putting all them old-ass geezers together. And y'all blame Westbrook. Now I hear y'all going to fire Frank Vogel. Listen, Russ is learning. Frank Vogel is a terrific coach. Putting all them old-ass geezers together and just trying to blame other people, it ain't right and it ain't cool. Listen, Anthony Davis, you got to play better. I said on this first night, if the Lakers were going to be any good, it was all going to be on you. Has nothing to do with Russell, had nothing to do with LeBron and the rest of them old-ass geezers they put together out there. But now y'all done crossed the line because I really like Frank Vogel. And listen, it ain't his fault. But listen, it's in my opinion, I blame Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, you know I like you as a person, but you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. You're 27 years old. You're supposed to be in your prime. You're supposed to be one of the 5 best players in the world up there with Giannis, Kevin Durant, and those guys. And you ain't holding up your end of the bargain. So now I hear y'all going to fire the coach. That's total BS, man. Now I feel better.
like I wanted to play that. Like that's what I mean. They've moved the goalposts and they've sat there and said, "Well, we're going to fire Frank Vogel." Like that's not cool. Like he said, and the rest of it, you know when you're going to get fired. Quote: "You know when you're going to get fired when they start talking about you're going to get fired." That happens all the time, and like. They're not playing because you got Laker fans and casual Laker fans going like they need to be X, Y, and Z. And you got to look at how the team was constructed. You got to look at Rob Pelinka. Like Frank Vogel deserves some of the blame, but you always can't to throw him under the Russell Westbrook under the bus. I thought that's not cool. Like, he's not the reason their defense is trash. Like, Anthony Davis can match up with a lot of dudes every night. Anthony Davis just doesn't want to do that. Like, they don't play defense. That's not Frank Vogel. Like, you like they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like, that's Frank Vogel. This is what he has to work with. But it's sad. But I'm leaving it at that. This was season 5, episode 1 of the podcast. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know y'all's thoughts on the episode. Episode 2 will probably go up sometime either Wednesday or Friday. But with that being said, thank you all for joining me. Y'all have a good night. Stay out.
Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.